Obviously, not the outcome we were looking for. Felt like our team played well enough to win the football game, and had some unfortunate circumstances at the end there that didn't allow us to come back to Moscow with a victory. But I'm incredibly happy with the way the players played. I thought our guys played extremely hard. I thought they really did a great job having great resolve and just continuing to play. Thought we played complementary football. I thought our defense, offense, special teams definitely executed at a high level, and again had a chance at the end to win the football game. We've had a ton of one possession games this year, and obviously the ball did not bounce our way in a lot of them, but I also know that's how close we are to being a playoff football team. The last 2 road games we go down with great plans, and we execute very well, against very good competition, and I think that's something that is very, very optimistic, and we're very hopeful in terms of building for the future. And so very happy with our players. I know our guys are excited to get back home and play in the Kibbie Dome this weekend against a rival school in Idaho State, and we're really looking to move forward. We really kind of talked about it yesterday as kind of flushing it, right? And there isn't anything that we can do to go back in time, but there's certainly a lot we can do to prepare for the future. So that's really what we have our sights set on, is moving forward with Idaho State and getting our last home game and sending our seniors off with a bang. So with that being said, I'll open it up for any questions.
Coach, I know you want to move past it, but just wanted to ask if you had any reaction or comments on what the Big Sky put out today on the news of the officiating.
It's I think it shows that the Big Sky cares, and they didn't get it right, in the moment, but wanted to make it right as best they could. And obviously you can't go back and replay the down by any stretch, but it was good to be validated in the sense that they did make a statement to get it right, and I'm very appreciative of the Big Sky and the commissioner for doing so.
What do you think the emotions are going to be like this week as you guys get ready for not only an emotional rivalry game, but the last game of the season, last game for these seniors? Yeah,
I think you got to handle all of those emotions. Our group, I believe, will handle it in the most positive way. The seniors in this program have given a tremendous amount to the program and have really led the way and given our younger players the blueprint on how to be successful at this level. And I know that our young guys want to send them out with a bang. So it's going to be highly emotional, I'm sure, but I think it's going to be in a good way, right? Using that emotion to really fuel our guys to play a good 4-quarter game, right? And maybe more, right? 4+. We know what that looks like as well, but definitely excited for the opportunity and want to send those seniors out the right way.
Yeah, Coach, you said send your shoes out with a bang. Are you doing anything specific this week to I guess, boost their confidence, boost their excitement for their final game?
I don't think there's much I need to do to get those guys excited. We had our kind of corrections practice last night, and the seniors were just excited by nature. They know that this is the last one that they'll have in a Vandal uniform, and I think they're just really looking forward to putting together a great week, because obviously it doesn't just happen on Saturday. And so I think those guys have very positive attitudes. They're very optimistic about everything that's happened this season, even though maybe our record does not show that. But I think that this group is really excited and fired up to play their final game in the Kibbie Dome.
And we spoke about it a little bit after the game, but Coach Linehan was on the sideline. I didn't see him without a headset. Was he calling plays, or was he not calling plays?
No, so we just trying something a little bit different, trying to get him a little bit better eyes upstairs with Coach Powell. Getting Coach Linehan a different vantage point. And again, he's just going to continue to do a great job coaching up those quarterbacks and getting the offense going.
You're in a unique position, as you knew some of these seniors before they were seniors, the ones that were here, and then now you come in, and I'm sure there's some more that were added into the fold.
Sure.
Just kind of, when you look at this senior class as a whole and all the different stories they have, kind of what comes to mind for you of the impact they've made on this program, sure, but also on you?
Oh gosh, I mean, obviously the impact they've made within the program is tremendous. I mean, these guys were a part of changing the guard, so to speak. Getting us to having high expectations, having playoff aspirations year in, year out. And so, from that standpoint, they've given everything to make that happen. And again, to lay the blueprint and the foundation for our younger players. And obviously, for me, these guys have left a huge impact on me. A lot of these guys really wanted me to be the head coach when Coach Eck left, and that speaks, I think, volumes for itself. Just their relationship that we've had over the past really 4 years now, and their ability to, just really lead, and not just, rah-rah lead, right? Truly lead by example, doing the things behind the scenes no one talks about, having their player-only meetings, really leading the charge and doing it the right way. And so these guys will forever have an impact on me for not only being great players, but just being really good human beings, guys that I know are going to have tremendous success in whatever they get into next in life. And hopefully for some of them, they continue to play. And I know there's going to be, a few guys in that senior class will certainly have an opportunity.
As you look back on this year, have you had any insights yet as to what happened, why you're not going back to the playoffs for a fourth straight year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of things, right? We had a very young team to start, and we got into some really close games that I don't know that those guys had been in those situations yet in their career. We had a 2-game stint without our starting quarterback, and I think our offense really kind of sputtered without him in the lineup. And so I think it's a culmination of things. We've also played some really good teams. We lost to, a couple FBS schools by 3 points. We lost to, obviously, this last one against Sac State by 3. And, all of our games have been decided by, 2 possessions or less. And so, yes, there was a lot of things that you can point to, but I think overall it's just a program learning how to win without a lot of guys that played for them a year ago. And so I think what you have seen is the growth of this program and the growth of the team. They were youthful in the beginning and became a much more veteran group, especially on defense, right? When we returned only one returning starter, now all of a sudden we're playing defense at a high level. I believe we're 3rd in the conference in both scoring defense and total defense. So that group has really grown tremendously, and I think although our record may not show it, I think there's been a lot of growth in this program this season.
Which kind of begs the question, what's recruiting going to look like? What are you looking for? What does this team need?
I think high school recruiting, we're pretty much done. I think we've got 19 committed guys. We've got a very good class. Obviously, we got to sign them until they actually sign on the dotted line. We don't have them, but I know we're going to continue to recruit them hard. Nobody has shown any signs of wavering, and they are very supportive of the program. They're watching every game, focusing as hard as they can on kind of learning the culture as they watch it from their TVs. But recruiting wise, as far as transfers, you don't know necessarily exactly what you need, but we kind of need a little bit of everything, right? So we'll really take a look at all of those needs, but I would imagine that we'll take probably 7 or 8 transfers, which is a far cry from the 25 or 30 we needed last year. So again, obviously we potentially could need more if we get guys departing we weren't expecting to, but have not really had many grumblings of that. But again, you don't know until they tell you, and the portal doesn't open until January 2nd. So we have a little bit of time, but our high school recruiting class feel very strongly about that. If we sign everyone that is committed to us, it will be the highest ranked recruiting class in the school's history. And then we'll, again, look at what transfer needs that we'll have to kind of fill spots. But again, it's not going to be the 25 to 30 that we needed a year ago.
You probably experienced this when you were here the first time. How fun is it to introduce players who have never, suited up against Idaho State for Idaho, like introduce them to the rivalry? And what does that look like? Do you guys do anything special this week in terms of, rivalry countdown or anything?
Yeah, I mean, we do some things. We talk a little bit about, our program and how we genuinely do not like their program. Now, I think Coach Hawkins is an awesome coach. He's an awesome guy. So there's no hard feelings by any stretch, but when we're taking the field, right, there's no friends on the field. And I think exposing our young guys to this rivalry is going to be really fun this week. We didn't give away too much yesterday, but we've got a pretty fun team meeting scheduled for tomorrow that'll really introduce them to this rivalry. So very much looking forward to getting back in the dome and playing against these guys.
It's an air it out offense for them. But when you look at the stats, they've only allowed 3 sacks this year, I believe. So, what is it like for the defensive line and kind of like the front seven as they prepare for, a chance to try and get to a quarterback that hasn't been on the ground a lot this year?
Yeah, they do a phenomenal job protecting him. Their quarterback number 1 is a good athlete. He can get out of trouble himself. I think they do a great job with their protection plan, getting the ball out very quickly. And then he's athletic enough to extend plays. And so sometimes as a pass rusher, you have to have a lot of patience when you play against a team like this. And you really have to do a great job of owning your assignment, and the sacks will come. I don't think you can really force them against a team like this. So I think it's going to be a act of patience with that front 7 group. But make no mistake, they can run the football very well. Their running back number 28, I think he has almost 1,000 yards on the season. He's had 2 games with, I think, over 200 yards rushing. And so they do a really good job being balanced as well. Yes, they air it out and they're going to throw it around, but they do a phenomenal job on the ground too. So we've got a lot to prepare for defensively, but I know our kids are really excited for the challenge.
Offensively, you made some adjustments in the second half. What kind of adjustments do you want to make going into the Idaho State game?
Yeah, I think, we've just got to continue to have a great balance of run, pass, moving the pocket, not allowing their defense to just pin their ears back and become pass rushers. We've got to be multi-dimensional with our screen game, boot game, movement, and really trying to keep them off balance as best we can, because they have given up some yards, but they do a great job keeping teams out of the end zone. And so I think that's going to be the challenge for us, is just to continue to move the chains, have efficient drives, and not have 3 and outs, because the last thing you want to do is give that offense the ball back more than you need to.
I know sometimes we ask on Monday and you say wait till Thursday. You had a lot of injured guys against Sac State. Are there any guys expected back? Is Eli coming?
We'll know more on Eli here shortly. Hopefully he's able to go. But I thought, Carlos Matheny really stepped up this past week. Obviously Nate Thomas is a very good back. I believe we'll get Marquand McCraney back from a head injury. He practiced yesterday and had no symptoms, so I believe he'll be ready to go. Hopefully have Ryan Jesiaro back, but he's kind of hopefully know by Wednesday or Thursday on him. So we'll get a couple guys back. We had a couple defensive backs that were banged up, one of which will be out. Hayden John will be out for sure. Hopefully Matt Irwin's able to play. He's going to be another game-time decision. So those are just a few of the guys I know off the top of my head. But we're certainly excited about getting Marquand back, because he's a difference maker.
And just talking about the rivalry, obviously you see that beautiful trophy right there made by Jarek, an Idaho trophy. What would it mean to keep that trophy, and what does it mean to lift that trophy hopefully eventually?
Yeah, it'd mean the world, right? We've got a couple of traveling trophies, and we lost 2 of them. And so maintaining this one in that case will be huge. I know it's something that means a lot to our players, and certainly means a lot to our coaching staff as well.
Sorry to backtrack here.
That's okay.
Going back to one of Trevor's earlier questions, and I'll raise my hand and say I didn't see Coach Linehan on the sidelines. Could you just clarify, is he still calling plays just from the sidelines, or is he?
Yeah, we're like I said, we're just trying something a little bit different. We're trying to get, whenever things, whenever you look at things and you think you need a change, we're going to look at all changes. And so we're just changing the angle on which he's looking, getting the information he's getting is something that we're looking at. And we did have a lot of success with it. We were much better on 3rd down. We were 7 of 12 on 3rd down, much better in the red zone. We were 4 for 4 in the red zone. So I think those changes are definitely appearing to be working.
What's the goal? You say you need changes with getting him to the sidelines. What's the better vantage from being down there?
I think more than anything, getting good information up top. Just getting. Coach Powell has done this for a long time, and so I think he's going to give him great information. And it's just, again, more than anything, changing what we were doing. We had hit a sputter really on conversion downs over the last 5 games, and that's something that we had to get fixed in a hurry. And so we looked at making some changes that way.
That's interesting. Just following up on that conversion downs. If you guys get behind in this game, it's your last game. What are you going to tell them? What are you going to keep them from just phoning in the rest of the game?
Well, I don't think our kids would phone in any games. You know, we've been down before. For example, our last home game, we went down to the number 10 team in the nation, 28-7, fumbled the next kickoff return, and didn't allow a single point the rest of the game. And so I don't see that even being an option for these guys. Whether we're down, whether we're up, this group's going to keep playing really, really hard and playing for each other.
Any more questions for Coach? Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you guys. V's up.